Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live from our studios here at Kokomlemle's Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we're live on Love 99.5 FM and affiliate across Ghana's 16 regions, including Radio Somali in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, A1 Radio in Dreams FM in Bolgatanga, Clenham Radio in Bato, and Jata FM in Karaga. For our global audience, you can download the My Joy Online app from Play Store and App Store to listen live. In this edition, 2 persons collapse in Wa as MMDC elections get underway across the country amid curses and rejections.
We would have said that we will return here within 10 days, but that is not the case. This is a total rejection of the nominee. I will have to inform the president for the next line of action.
We have details as some aggrieved assembly members of the Asin South District in the Central Region accuse confirmed DC of blocking their vote. We have details of that, and as Parliament draws down the curtain on the submission of memoranda for the Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021, the Church of Pentecost vows to punish any political party that opposes it.
But we are going to cause our people to come on the street, and we are going to warn any government that if you vote against this bill, we will vote you out. And that is it. There's no room for neutrality.
We'll tell you what's next after today and also hear from the Muslim community in Ghana, also in this edition.
I saw 4 men on bike with a gun, 2 guns.
When we went 2 badges, 2 motors, 2 motor cabs, they all voted their way because they gave one shot.
We ask this afternoon, armed men riding motorbikes and trailing persons who have withdrawn monies from financial institutions. Is that the new trend of robbery in Ghana? We'll hear from a security analyst on that. We have sports.
Yes, 2 days ago, we did bring you the thoughts of Fred Papo, the former GFA vice president, who said that social media comments are to blame for diasporan Ghanaians not joining the Black Stars. Well, today, Inaki Williams of Atletico Bilbao says he doesn't feel Ghanaian and feels Spanish, and that's why he's not joining the Black Stars. We'll be hearing more from him in 20-ish minutes.
And later on our social media political show, States of Play, Alan versus Baumia, their Kofado dilemma, part 1.
I'm introducing Alan, or the person, president. Oh boy, Juma Pa. It's not an endorsement. If you're in Baumia's shoes and you're listening to your boss, how would you construe
You'll be wondering whether is he giving other signals.
Our in-house analyst will explore the dilemma the president finds himself in as he considers who gets his backing to lead the party in 2024. That and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Please stay for details. This is your home of bold, credible and fearless journalism. Thanks so much for your company. Let's dig in now. And the ongoing municipal and district assembly elections across the country have been characterized by curses, collapses and rejections of nominees. We'll start from the Upper West region, where 2 close relatives of the president's district chief executive nominee for Wa West collapsed. Ali Bukari was rejected by the 41-member assembly after polling 15 yes votes and 26 no votes. His relatives were quickly rushed to the Wa West District Hospital for treatment. Joy News Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
Following the refusal of Lora and Juba municipalities to confirm the president nominees to their assemblies, Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali and his team had wished Wichau, capital of the Wa West District, should not be another Waterloo for them. This he pleaded with the 41 assembly members to do well by voting to give an overwhelming endorsement to the confirmation and Upper West Regional Communications Director of the MPP, Ali Bukari.
He's not a stranger that the government is trying to impose on the people of Wa West. He hails from this area and he's one of you. And I believe strongly that because of that, you're going to give in an overwhelming endorsement.
The end result was however an overwhelming rejection of the federal vote by the Assembly.
In all, we have 41 honorable members present and voting. So the yes was 15, representing 36.58%. And then the no vote was 26. Representatives say 3.41%.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali was disappointed about the results and has these few words for the assembly. We would have said that we will return here within 10 days, but that is not the case. This is a total rejection of the nominee. I will have to inform the president for the next line of action. Supporters of the nominee were not only shocked about the results, but angered. As a result of that, they vent their anger on the outgoing DCE, Edward Labiru Sobo, who they accused of being the mastermind of the total rejection of the nominee. He was nearly attacked, but for the presence of the police, who whisked him away to safety. Edward Labiru Sobo has, however, strenuously denied those allegations leveled against him. Two female close relatives who were unhappy about the rejection of the nominee collapsed and were rushed to the Warwick District Hospital. Reporting for J News, Rafiq Salam. Watch out.
And Rafiq Salam joins us live on the line. Rafiq, first off, let's talk about the condition of these two relatives of the DC nominee that collapsed. How are they doing? Hello, Rafiq. It appears I've just lost Rafiq Salam there on the phone, but we'll try and raise Rafiq back. We'll go to Wichau once again. But we head to another part of the country. Some aggrieved assembly members of the Asin South district in the Central region invoking curses on the newly confirmed DCE for Asin South, Felicia Emisa in Trakwa. The Ghana Police Service and EC officials are not allowing them to take part in the just ended election to confirm the DCE. I'll tell you more about that shortly. But let me bring back Rafiq Salam, who's joined us on the line from Wichau. Rafiq, I was asking about the condition of those two persons who collapsed.
Yeah, the two persons who were quickly rushed to the Warwick District Hospital, the information that we are getting have been discharged from the facility, and they are at home at Naha and also at Bosa.
Well, but you've been also asking these assembly members why they rejected the nominee. What have they been telling you?
Yeah, I've spoken to some of them. They are of the view that the nominee, ever since that he was nominated by President Akufo-Addo, did not come to them. And others are also saying that even if he did, he comes, sit in his car and ask them to come. But one important person in this discussion has to do with Peter Tubu, who happens to be an ex-officio member of the assembly, and he says that he called to congratulate the nominee and ask the nominee whatever support that he needs, he should come to him, but he didn't come. And so they are saying that for him, he is part of the problems why he has lost.
Well, but Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali mentioned that he was going to communicate that to the president and get back. Did he come back on what exactly the next line of action will be?
For him, he's saying that the figures from the Electoral Commission show that it's a total rejection because 15 of the assembly members voted no, and then 26 said yes. And so he's saying that per the law, he's not qualified for now to run for a second term.
So that's my colleague Rafiq Salam. So now I've been telling you about some aggrieved assembly members of the Asin South district in the Central region. They've been invoking cases on the newly confirmed DCE for Asin South, Felicia Emisa in Trakwa, also on the Ghana Police Service and EC officials for not allowing them to take part in that election to confirm the DCE. They slaughtered a sheep, used eggs and bottles of schnapps to invoke the cases. They want the gods to deal with them for the injustice they have perpetrated on them. My colleague Richard Kojunyako joins us on the line. Okay, Richard is not joining us just yet, but my colleague Natalia Kwansa is joining us from the Western region, where a member of the Shamar District Assembly, Joseph Isaiah Mensah, has alleged his colleagues took an amount of 2,500 Ghana cedis each and still voted against the presidential nominee for the area. Natalia, give us all the details on this.
Yes, Semefa. So this allegation, like you rightly said, is coming from this assembly member who is claiming that his other colleagues have taken 2,500 from the nominee before that day. But on the day of voting, the nominee could not meet the two-third vote that was expected. So he was rejected. this is something that he said it is because some fraction of assembly members are still in support of the former BC Joseph Amwa, and he is behind all this. But the presiding member for the area has come out strongly to say that no assembly member was given such amount of money for them to go vote. And MFL, let's take a listen to them.
I am putting this humble appeal on the regional minister there. On financing for national party now attractive because my moving on your papa. Okay. The new honorable Isaiah will go to radio and make this wild allegation.
On to intend the one just go behind.
No.
Marty.
So that's the presiding member there speaking in an interview. Come back to Accra here, the capital, where the president's nominee for a position of Metropolitan Chief Executive of Accra, Elizabeth Saki, has been confirmed by assembly members. You recall the naming of the former deputy Greater Accra Regional Minister as replacement of the former mayor, Mohammed Ajaysoa, was greeted with spontaneous protest and vandalization of property in what was predicted to be a real test of confidence in the president's nominee. I'll take you live now to the City Hall, where my colleague Manuel Cranting is standing by with updates from that confirmation meeting. So it appears she got 100%.
Indeed, MFA, she did. And in sharp contrast to what we saw at the advent of her nomination, today the City Hall saw a united push by what you refer to as both sides of the aisle within the Assembly, particularly, members of the minority in Parliament. You know that the MPs are ex-official members of the Assembly. So we've got the Member of Parliament Public South, the Honorable Alfred Ukuvanapa, who himself is a former mayor of Accra, today supporting her. We also got the MP for Ododododo, Milan Vanapa, also here putting his weight behind her. So in all, she was able to secure 30 out of all 30 votes.
I'm sure you've been finding out what must have done the trick for her, knowing that there were a lot of protests when she was nominated.
Indeed, herself, she's been expressing her appreciation to the president and particularly to the regional minister, the Honorable Henry Corte. And she says that he's led the charge to, as it were, galvanize support and put everybody in line to get her approved. And so she's been thanking him profusely and also expressing her will to, as it were, open her doors to solicit for support from past and, mayors and all who are of importance in her base.
Hey, that's my colleague Manuel Cranting. We'll head to Asin South District once again. Hopefully, the cases of these nominees will not affect the phone lines. And my colleague Richard Kojonyako joins us on the line. Richard, so they've been invoking cases. They say they were not allowed to take part in the election. Why were they not allowed? Do we know?
Well, so they said that they changed the venue. Where they held the previous one was the Israel Pentecost Church. They got there, they saw that there was no show. They heard that it was being held at the Methodist Church at Asan and Kran. They went there was heavy security presence. The police denied them entry, even though they are elected assembly members, 15 of them. And so those who were left were 21. They voted, and they all voted for the government nominee, Felicia Ebisen Chakwa. And so she got 21 votes out of 21, 100%. So that is why they are invoking cases on the police, the nominee, and then the Electoral Commission for doing this to them. They see it as a deliberate tactic to knock them off because they suspected that they voted against the government nominee in the previous election. As we speak now, they have started initiating some legal proceedings, and then they said that they will get back to the press.
Well, Richard, so away from Asin South, I know that you stayed up most part of the night yesterday because of the MC nomination at Cape Coast. Tell us about the situation. We are told that for the second time he failed to secure 2/3 of the votes.
Well, so many issues came up. They said that when he was the MCE for the first part of his term, he did not support or help the people of the Cape Coast North constituency. He only concentrated in the Cape Coast South constituency because he wanted to contest there. Secondly, they said that he was disrespectful. He did things his own way. And thirdly, we are also even told that the MP for Cape Coast South, Hagen, the current government nominee, he feels threatened that he would contest him again. And so that is why they are doing everything to disable him from getting the needed third vote to make him the DCE for the area. And so a lot has gone on. And then looking forward in come Monday, because he has failed twice, and then yesterday's own, he managed to get 6 additional votes. It is envisaged that he will do a lot of work, a lot of homework, to enable him go through successfully.
That's my colleague Richard Kojunyako. We wrap up the conversation in the Bono East region, where the regional minister, Kwesi Edujan, has begun a series of engagement with assembly members of Nkranza South and Pru East to reaccept the DCE nominees for these areas after voting against the confirmation of the two. So the two nominees, Dinah Atakisiwa of Nkranza South, pulled 20 out of 42 votes, representing 47.6% of the total valid votes, whilst Joshua Abuakra of Pru East District obtained 10 votes out of the 23 votes, representing 43.5% of the total votes cast. Well, away from voting and nominations, submission of memoranda for and against the proposed Human Sexual and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021 will end today. And already, Joy News is learning over 150 memos have been submitted ahead of formal consideration by the Committee on Legal and Constitutional Affairs. When passed, the bill will criminalize the activities of LGBTQI++, as well as individuals and organizations that advocate or promote the activity in the country. The Christians and Muslim faith are united in their support for the bill. The Church of Pentecost has sent its strongest caution yet to government. National Chairman of the Church, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, says his outfit will vote out any political divide that stands against the passage of the promotion of the proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021.
Because lawyer Akotampao has made us know their roadmap. They are going to the radio stations, and then they'll be organizing some street march and all that. You see, if we get to the street and our numbers come out, and you see us, and you can still pass this something against this bill, then you have done well. But we are going to cause our people to come on the street, and we are going to warn any government that if you vote against this bill, we will vote you out. And that is it. There's no room for neutrality. No, it's not political. It is not political. Ghana is not, what I'm saying is not political. It's about the future of the nation. Anyone who wants to destroy this nation, we will not allow you to rule us. That is it. We have to take the values and principles of God on the street. It is this thing that we are losing. That is why we are seeing this nation the way we are seeing. So we want all Christians to arise so that we go out there and stand for the values and principles of the kingdom of God.
That's the National Chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche. So what happens after the close of day today? When will the bill have its day in Parliament? My colleague Elton Brobe joins me in studio for more on this. The question is, what happens after today, Elton?
So, MF, on Monday, the committee will meet and they will go through the bill. They will also go through all the petitions that they have received, and then they'll put together their report. Now, I'm told that before Parliament will come back, they will hold a national dialogue where anybody at all can just walk in and then speak to or against the bill, after which they'll put together their report. When Parliament is in session and the opportunity comes their way, they will now read their report after the second reading of the bill. It will be after the second read that we'll get into the nitty-gritties of the bill, where they will do the consideration clause by clause, which ones has to stand, which one has to go, before hopefully, if the opportunity comes, they'll go to the third reading.
Okay, but you've been speaking to the Deputy Clerk to the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee of Parliament. What has he been saying?
He says that this is the first time a bill has received such a number of memos and petitions for and against it. And he says that it is because Ghanaians attach a lot of importance to the issue at stake.
It is the interest of Parliament that the citizens also participate in the lawmaking process. And this is one bill that has generated a lot of interest. The Catholic Bishop Conference, they've presented their memo already. Assemblies of God has also presented. Islamic Council has also presented, formed by the clerk to the committee, that she has received more than 100 memos from all over the world, which means that the bill is very, very important and people have interest in it.
That's Eric Owusu-Nyamiche, Deputy Clerk to the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Committee of Parliament, well, spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Karimi Al-Shaibu, is urging Ghanaian politicians to desist from turning the current debate on the anti-homosexuality bill into a partisan one. He's also urging the group of 18 high-profile Ghanaians made up of lawyers, top university professors who are against the bill to reconsider their stance on the matter.
I want even those powerful academic gurus. These are people that you must respect for their academic attainments and the role they have played in civil society. I think they must review their position, think deeply, take a soul-searching, travel into their inner world and understand the implications of this kind of practice. This issue is not an academic issue. Okay. It's not just an academic issue. I mean, we all can go to school and learn all the big English, but it doesn't make us truly human. But education only enhances.
That's the spokesperson of the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Karimi Al-Shaibu. Now, the last 4 weeks has seen at least 5 different robberies, all with a common feature: armed men riding motorbikes, stealing from persons who had withdrawn monies from banks. The latest incident happened, and the Ghana Association of Bankers is worried and has stepped up efforts to have its customers opt for online transactions rather than those involving cash. The latest incident we know happened in Cape Coast, where these 4 armed men riding a motorbike attacked a man, robbing him of cash he had just withdrawn from the bank. There's more in the following news desk report.
When 2 badges, 2 motos, 2 motor cabs, they don't vote their way because they gave one shot. Whoever ventures, they will kill the person.
An eyewitness recounting the Cape Coast robbery. The police is asking for assistance to track the robbers who carried out the operation on motorbikes. The 73-year-old man who was attacked is said to have withdrawn an unspecified amount of money and was trailed by the robbers. This approach is similar to a robbery at Wager last month. A woman who had withdrawn money from an ATM was accosted and robbed.
I was at my shop and I had a gunshot. I just came out from my shop and I saw 4 men on bike with a gun, 2 guns.
It was something, an action where people couldn't come out. It was so scary. Yes, they were firing as they were moving.
On September 20, at Achimota, along the Accra-Amasamang highway, 4 armed robbers executed a similarly well-planned and coordinated heist where they followed a woman from a bank at Abeka where she had withdrawn an amount of money. 3 motorbikes surrounded the woman's vehicle whilst waiting for the traffic light to turn green. One went straight to force open the driver's door and pointed the gun at the woman. She handed over 3 bags containing money to the robbers without hesitation. The robbers quickly jumped behind the waiting motorbikes and sped off, leaving the woman traumatized in traffic. 2 other incidents happened at Kwashiman at Apenkwa, where monies withdrawn from banks were robbed by armed men on motorcycles.
That was a news desk report, and the Ghana Association of Bankers says he has stepped up efforts to ensure that its customers opt for cashless transactions. While security analyst Dr. Ishmael Norman says increased police presence can help stem the tide of this type of robbery.
We have to increase the presence of CCTV cameras. In addition to that, I think the police presence, the visibility police, it will really be helpful to increase the numbers. But again, you have to look at budgetary constraints. So it's a tough matter. It's a very complex issue for government, for police administration, and for the security organizations.
That's Ishmael Norman. He's a security analyst, and this is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. 2 persons collapsed in Wa as MMDC elections get underway across the country amid cases and rejections. We've been around the country for the latest on that. When we return, we have sports, and then later on our social media politically incorrect show, State of Play, Alan versus Baumia, the Kufado Dilemma, Part 1.
I'm introducing Alan, or the person, president. Oh boy, Juma Pa. It's not an endorsement. If you're in Baumia shoes and you're listening to your boss, how would you consider?
You'll be wondering whether is he giving other signals.
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Klenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Aflao. In the Eastern region, we're on K Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga. Katanga, and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sonmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, and Bolu FM in Bolu. In the Bono East region, we're on Gaskia FM in Techiman. In Bono region, we're on Sky FM and Parrot FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Gary L. Smith is here with sports.
Yes, thank you, Emifa. And just 2 days ago, we were telling you how Fred Papo, the former GFA vice president, was saying that the aspirant Ghanaians are not opting to play for the Black Stars because of negative commentary in media, especially on social media. Well, yesterday in The Guardian, Inaki Williams, who has long been sought by the Ghana national team, finally spoke. He said, essentially, that because his parents left Ghana for Spain, he feels Spanish and not Ghanaian.
I admire and love Ghana, the culture, food, tradition. My parents are from Accra and I really enjoy going, but I was not born or raised there. My culture is here and there are players for whom it will mean more. I don't think it will be right to take the place of someone who really deserves to go and feels Ghana 100%. Ghana tried to convince me, but I was born in Spain, in Bilbao. I won't ever forget my family roots, but I feel Basque and can't con anyone. I will be comfortable with Ghana, I'm sure, but I should not be there.
So these were quotes read by my colleague Asari Bediako, and that is what Inaki Williams said. And let's remind you of what Fred Papo said about the negative commentary 2 days ago.
People are at liberty to express their views on social media and consistently advise the players not to come and play for Ghana. All these things are bound to have effects on them. I'm sure, don't look surprised. I'm sure you've seen a lot of those comments on social media.
Right, so that's the sports. The question remains, why are players not opting to play for the Black Stars?
You have the answer. And now 4 journalists with the multimedia group have been mentioned as the finalists for the 2021 edition of the prestigious West Africa Media Excellence Awards. The Media Foundation for West Africa yesterday announced the list of finalists for the awards. Joy News editor Araba Kumsin, Seth Kwame Boateng, Emmanuel Kwesi Debra, and investigative journalist Kwete Nate were among the 5 named Ghanaians. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me in studio with details. Joseph, give us all the details on that ceremony.
The event will host West Africa's foremost media defense lawyer, Femi Falana, as guest of honor. The renowned human rights lawyer will present the award to the overall best journalist in West Africa. The 2021 West Africa Media Excellence Awards received 711 entries from 14 countries in West Africa. And so it tells you how well our colleagues have performed, be able to make it through and be nominated. We wish them well.
Hard-working Joy News editor Araba Kumsin. Women on top. It's time for Tech Thursday. Now, one of the problems with domestic electric pressing irons is that they can cause a fire if they are left plugged in for a prolonged amount of time. During this period, the iron still consumes power, raising total energy consumption. We have Tech Thursday with Love FM's Kwesi Debra.
The students, Peter Azure and Kenneth Akambodipo, tell their motivation behind the innovation.
There is always the tendency that after ironing, you forgot to turn the iron off. And by the time you come back from where you went, the iron has put all the credits on your prepaid. That's if you are lucky. But if you are not lucky, it might even tip over and cause fire outbreak.
The design uses a microcontroller.
Say you want to iron for 10 minutes and you tune the potentiometer to 10 minutes. So when I plug it to the wall, the red LED will show, indicating that there is power from the means, that is the power supply, to the adapter socket. In a situation whereby lights went out, if lights goes out and the lights come again, this device will not work until you trigger the push button.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Debra.
Well, and in recent times, there's been a lot of talk about who will lead the NPP after President Akufo-Addo. We all know who the front runners are, but a key determinant of who is likely to be the next flag bearer will be the one who gets the blessing of the current president. Well, on your politically incorrect show, State of Play, later today, the best political team in Ghana will explore the dilemma the president finds himself in as he considers who gets his backing. Here's what to expect.
Alan versus Baumia, the Akufo-Addo dilemma, part 1. That is an interesting conversation. It's going to get us into trouble.
Yes, but let's look at it this way. If the president decides to say that, well, I chose Bawumia, I eventually groomed him out of somebody out of nowhere and brought him into mainstream politics. So I need to make sure that his political career is complete.
There's another angle to this. Did the president drop a hint? Did he drop a hint when he went to Menchia and jovially said, I'm introducing Alan or the president. But oh boy, Juma pa, it's not an endorsement. If you're in Bawumia shoes and you're listening to your boss, how would you construe
You'll be wondering whether what is he giving other signals that he's really out there for him, or he's just being fair to the man's record.
Listen, the president is in a tight spot here. He's exiting, but his legacy is at stake. Whoever he chooses will have something to say about that legacy, and so you want to join us. What is our verdict on it?
And it's at 2:30 p.m. on all our social media platforms. You want to catch the team on that. Very exciting edition today. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. On myjoyonline.com, we will vote out any government that opposes anti-LGBTQ plus bill. Church of Pentecost Ekufado extends gender minister's leave. Sanitation minister to act. MP wants full disclosure into unlawful admission of over 20 students into School of Law. That and more on myjoyonline.com. Self-government is living word with Pastor Mensa Otabil for today. You want to stay for that? I am MFA Pau. Thanks so much for your company.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN. Someone has just sent you money and we will need you to enter your PIN number so that we can put the money in your account.
Hey,
oh dada, MTN will never ask you for your PIN. Never reveal your PIN to anyone under any circumstances. And if you are not sure, always check the number. MTN will only call you with a dedicated number, 0244 300,000. Stay safe, stay vigilant. We are good together everywhere you go.